Korea was once a unified nation and people. After decades of Japanese occupation and two world wars, Korea reclaimed its independence. But it would not take long for the country to be once again plunged into renewed bloodshed. Now between the Communist North, backed by China and the Soviet Union, and the Democratic South, backed by the US. The Korean War was a brutal conflict that divided a nation in two, killed millions, fragmented families, and left a wound on the nation that is yet to fully heal. Even after the fighting ceased, for decades following the armistice in 1953, the Cold War continued on, chilling relations between the North and South. Although direct conflict had been suspended, both sides resorted to other tactics, like espionage. In the 90s, the threat of nuclear weapons frightened the South, contributing to political tensions. Anti-communist fears and desire for political reform fueling the conflicts between the ruling and opposition parties, and making candidates like Kim Dae-jung allies to some and threats to others. The Spy Gone North is a South Korean spy movie based partially on true events. Directed by Yoon Jong-bin, the film released on August 8, 2018. The film has grossed over $38 million and has received several awards and nominations in Korean cinema for a variety of categories. The film stars Hwang Jung-min as South Korean spy Park Suk-young, aka Black Venus. It also stars Lee Sung-min as North Korean External Economic Council Director Ri Myung-eun, and Cho Jin-woon as NIS Director Choi Hak-sung. It also features Ju Ji-hoon as NK State Security Department Head Jong Moon-tak, and Gi Jung-bong as Kim Jong-il, with a cameo from Lee Hyori as herself. The film follows Park Suk-young, a South Korean spy codenamed Black Venus. At the beginning of the film, Park and his superior, NIS Director Choi, lure out a nuclear physicist who had been frequently visiting Pyongyang. They interrogate him about the North's nuclear capabilities. They learn that North Korea is potentially on the verge of developing nuclear weapons, if not already there. But only the NK elite truly know what's going on within their nuclear program. Black Venus's next mission is to infiltrate North Korea through its External Economic Council, based in Beijing, and its influential director, Ri Myung-eun. To carry out his mission, Black Venus poses as a washed-up military agent turned businessman and heads to Beijing. He first attempts to do business with Kiyohara Hisashi in order to get closer to the EEC. Although this goes nowhere at first, it does eventually put Park on the EEC's radar. After discovering that his own room was bugged, Park and the NIS take action to bait the EEC. They orchestrate a mishap involving the sale of Chinese goods mislabeled as North Korean, leading to the arrest of an NK officer and putting the EEC in a desperate need for cash, prompting them to meet with Park. To test Park, Director Ri asks Park if he, as a former South Korean military agent, could provide them with state secrets as a show of trust. So Park brings them some very light, old, and ultimately harmless intel in order to convince them. At Park's next meeting with the EEC, he meets Comrade Jong from the North Korean State Security Department. Jong has different priorities from Ri and is much less trusting of Park. Ri invites Park to dinner with the EEC that night, during which Park smuggles in a tape recorder to get a sample of their voices, and he gifts them all fake Rolex watches to earn their respect. Park successfully begins negotiating a partnership with Ri. They plan to shoot advertisements in North Korea, which will give Park a pretext to visit Pyongyang. Meanwhile, Director Choi and his colleagues are concerned about the rising popularity of the opposition party's candidate, Kim Dae-jung, who, if elected, would be a threat to their jobs and the future of the agency. So they orchestrate a sudden northern military provocation in the DMZ, which frightens voters and shifts their political concerns, swaying their votes away from Kim. Ri flies Park to Pyongyang to meet with Kim Jong-il in order to discuss the ad business. But before he can meet with him, Jong has him drugged and interrogated, At first, it seems like Park is finished. However, it's then revealed that even under the truth serum's influence, he managed to maintain his cover. The meeting goes well, and the deal is approved. Park is able to begin scouting for ad filming locations in North Korea, but he has yet to get close to the Yongbyon reactor to investigate the nuclear program. He is unable to convince Ri to let him into the area, but he does succeed in manipulating Jong to let him in. There it's revealed that Chief Kim from the EEC has been turned into a contact for Park, but a conversation between them is picked up by Ri. Ri doesn't turn Park in though, but he does remind him that the ad business is the first example of cooperation between North and South in decades, and he doesn't want it to be in vain. Meanwhile, Kim Dae-jung is once again leading in the polls. Back at the NIS, Choi learns that Kim does indeed plan to shut down the NIS if he is elected. With no other choice, Choi attempts to contact the North, again, by having Black Venus deliver a letter to Ri, despite the risk of jeopardizing the mission. Park delivers the letter and finds out Choi and other South Korean politicians are meeting with the EEC, so he bugs Ri's room and listens in on their conversation. He learns that Choi and the others are paying the North to take military action in order to scare the populace and sway the election. Ri is reluctant to do so, since it could jeopardize the ad business and the improving relations between the two countries. Park also overhears that the North doesn't want Kim elected also, despite what Choi told him. He realizes then that Choi has been lying to him and has only been acting in his own interests. Park goes to Ri. Together they meet with Kim Jong-il again. They convince him that rigging the election could destroy the ad business and future relations with the South, and he decides not to take military action. When Choi learns that Park sabotaged his election rigging scheme, he retaliates by exposing Park's identity as Black Venus. Ri confronts Park and seemingly intends to kill him. However, he spares Park instead and helps him escape North Korea, having come to view Park as a true compatriot and friend. 5 years later, at another advertising event between North and South, Park and Ri see each other again across a crowd. Ri is still wearing the watch Park gave him, and Park is still wearing the tie clip Ri gave him. And the film ends there. The events of the film were apparently based off the story of South Korean spy Park Chae-so, the real Black Venus. According to his accounts, he was also tasked with spying on the North's nuclear program, and he also worked out of Beijing, posing as a former South Korean military officer turned businessman. Black Venus's use of an ad business to infiltrate the North, as well as the meeting with Kim Jong-il, the antiques trade, and the election rigging, were all seemingly based on true events according to him. Even the fake Rolex watch was apparently true. Overall, I found the film to be very interesting and enjoyable. Being based on true events makes it a much more realistic spy movie compared to most Hollywood fiction, with the spy aspects of the film being less focused on action and more on deception, observation, and manipulation. It also serves as an interesting glimpse into the political situations of both North and South Korea, with the election rigging, Northern Wind incident surrounding Kim Dae-jung's campaign, as well as political corruption within the NIS. As for the North, the film also portrays the mass starvation and suffering there, with such serving as director Ri's motivation for helping Park. Overall, The Spy Gone North is a very captivating film that contains a lot of fascinating historical information. My name is Christian Lee, and this has been my review of The Spy Gone North. Thank you for watching.